If you're in the market for a luxury crossover, there's a good chance one of these two vehicles is on your list. Over here to my right is the best-selling car in the segment, the Lexus RX 350. And to my left, the number 2 selling vehicle in the segment, the Cadillac SRX. From a value and performance perspective, the Lexus RX actually falls behind the Cadillac. It's about 5% or $2,000 more expensive. Starting price $40,000 versus $38,000. And even though it's got a 3.5 liter V6, this is a 3.6 liter V6, this vehicle is not direct injected, this one is. 270 horsepower, 308 horsepower. Fuel economy is about the same, a combined 21 miles per gallon. Now another key difference is that the RX is front wheel or all-wheel drive, while the SRX is rear wheel or all-wheel drive. So we're going to go down the list of what a typical buyer in this segment would look at when making a decision. So the RX tends to have a more feminine style. It's kind of softer, a little more rounded, and therefore more preferred by women. Whereas the SRX has an edgier style, definitely more masculine, and of course preferred more by men. But both of these vehicles are primarily being driven by women. They are the key buyers in the segment. Next we have comfort. The RX is definitely geared more towards comfort. The seats are a little bit more comfortable. The ride is much more comfortable, especially compared to the SRX. And if you get the SRX in the sport trim package, it's actually a lot stiffer. This actually is the F Sport package, and it's still not that much stiffer than the base model. One of the things we noticed when we took these vehicles on autocross is just how much softer the RX. But you have to ask yourself, in your everyday driving, are you really going to be taking this car sharp around turns at 50 miles an hour? Probably not. Another factor that's very important to buyers in this segment is the infotainment, the Bluetooth, the audio, all the connectivity. Now, while Lexus was cutting edge a couple of years ago with their remote touch system, essentially a mouse-like apparatus that lets you operate the infotainment system, Cadillac has come out with something all new known as Q, or Cadillac User Experience. And this resembles your iPad. And in my opinion, just a better all-around system and perhaps the future of infotainment systems. Perhaps one of the biggest considerations for buyers in this segment and luxury vehicles in general is how they're going to get treated by their manufacturer and, more importantly, by their dealership. Lexus, quite honestly, just has it nailed down. They have the absolute best dealer experience. So if that's important to you, this is your vehicle. However, Cadillac is not far behind. They've done a lot of things to improve their dealership experience, and they've come a long way. They're not that far behind Lexus, but not quite there yet. So there you have it. Now, I rated the Cadillac SRX an 89 out of 100, the RX 88 out of 100. However, I'm considering me as the buyer. For you, you may have a little different score, and especially if you're more of a female buyer and not so interested in performance, you know what, the RX might get a little bit of an edge. This vehicle, more power, less money to buy, however, better resale value, better dealer experience. So a lot of things to consider. It's really a toss-up. You can't go wrong with either one of these. The number 1 selling car, the number 2 selling car.